Hello and welcome to another Chronowalkers Primer. Here's where we take a look at one of the new champions coming out in the Origin set and just kind of walk through the stats, how they work, and then look at some cards that really synergize well with this champion in particular. So yeah, do you want to take us away with the stats, Eric? Let's meet Shoon.
All right, let's look at Shoon. 20 starting health, which is on the low side. 90 aura, also on the low side, but 2 energy reduction. That's really good.
Yeah.
And whoa, look at this awareness.
What?
He's the most aware person we've seen since little demon teleporting demon girl.
I mean, yeah, Shoon sees everything. I mean, we'll see this coming, but I feel summoners are not going to like Shoon the most here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see this coming, but Shoon has already seen it. So anyway, Thymos Chaos. Shoon, he has a swift fire attack for 3. So a 3 damage swift attack without awareness. Then we have action drain attack of 2. So drain attack 2 on a champion. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And then I guess, yeah, let's move on to the next bit because all champions have 2 abilities. So I guess that's
Whoa, hold on. Huh? We got a third ability here.
Whoa, 3 abilities. Whoa. I think I've seen what 3 abilities on a champion did before. So
No, we have 3 abilities, nothing. We have Karina's all the abilities.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. All right, fine. I concede. What's our last ability?
All right, trigger Bloodthirst. At the end of the round, if you did not gain health, you lose 1 health.
Jeepers. Mm-hmm. That's that's a bit painful, and like with that 20 health, this says it better than anything else of how afraid of Shoon Haunted Castle Gaming is. Because look at those stats and that awareness. 2 energy. Yes, our aura is low, but that awareness is unheard of. Like, that is 3 of the 4 adjacent spaces. Shoon can hit for 3 damage at swift speed to 3 of the 4 spaces. Like, it's really, really tough for the medium level summons to attack Shoon because they're gonna die so fast.
So with all these great stats and awareness, what kind of champion do you think Shoon's gonna be?
So that third ability puts a clock on us, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we need to get in there and we need to get in fast and we need to hit them. So we are a burst fighter. Like, fighters want to play the game fast. Shoon wants to play the game really, really fast. Get in there, unload, and use that swift fire attack 3. That is a silly amount of damage to be doing every turn at swift speed.
Yeah, exactly. If you're really trying to get in there bursting people down, you really don't have to be too afraid of that Bloodthirst trigger, right?
You know what's a great way to mitigate losing 1 life every round? Reducing the number of rounds the game goes to. So then it doesn't even matter.
I do think we should bring up Malik because they're both fighters in the same factions. But Malik doesn't have that swift 3 attack.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have that awareness. And he doesn't have 2 energy reduction.
Yeah.
And he even has less aura. Like, yeah, you're trading off like a lot of health.
Yeah.
And you have that slowly taking Bloodthirst. But the rest of Shoon is so good.
Yeah, absolutely. Shoon might be, because of Bloodthirst, might be a bit hard to just bring out to an open meta and kind of be able to deal with everything. But if a meta ever stabilizes, I could totally see Shoon decks just kind of like figuring out the exact game plan that they need to execute fast and then just nailing the entire meta to a wall. But yeah, speaking of that awareness, I mean, and that energy makes me think of movement tech, and movement tech with that awareness, like, how do you move so that Shoon with 1 movement spell can't be right back there hitting you, like getting you in one of the other corners of the awareness, right?
Yeah, you don't. You get hit.
Yeah.
Like, that's why with Shoon you want to get that movement tech. With your awareness, you can really just follow people around, hitting things from what used to be pretty far away, and now is just nice and easy with Shoon.
So yeah, for my final thought, I'll say that Shoon, because of this kind of linear, more focused strategy, his decks are going to lean a little bit more onto the staples video that we made earlier. So yeah, we will highlight some cards that we think synergize a bit better with Shoon. That's my final thought. Eric, do you have any final thoughts for Shoon?
Yeah, I think you're just going to have to play fast right in their face. Try to end that game before your Bloodthirst really matters.
Cool. So let's look at some cards. The first one is going to be kind of, I think, a small showcase of Shoon's amazing awareness, though I think there's going to be a lot of showcases of Shoon's awareness, and that is Jump. So this is a reprint. It was in a previous set, but it's back in Origins. 3 energy action that lets you move to, I'm not even quite sure what to call it. We got the far forward and we got the left and right diagonals.
The Ahayam
Ahayam awareness. Yeah, there we go. At 4 chi for 3 energy, very cheap. So that's just 1 energy for Shoon. And then as you can see on the screen, just how much, just from a starting location, Shoon can hit with their action speed drain attack. So much of the board is available for you to hit with either a 3 damage or a drain attack too.
Because there's always an argument between Jump and Leap, but because of your awareness, Jump is just way better because you don't need to rotate. You're already hitting them anyway, and now you just have more options.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if this is math, but I'm just going to say 25% of the time, Shoon doesn't need to rotate. 3 out of the 4 spaces, that probably checks out. I guess that's math. The next one is on our Staples video as well,
and because he's in the art,
and because Shoon is in the art, which is Diving Juke. So 6 energy, 5 chi, swift speed, move to a spot in Diving Juke's awareness, and we've got all the diagonals. Let's just overlay Shoon's awareness on those spots that we get to move to. And this is one of the cards we were talking about where it's like, if Shoon's got a drain attack on the stack targeting something, how can you move to get out of range of it? It's like how? How?
I mean, this is such a good card. Like, you're going to be putting in all your Thymos decks, but because it's just so good with Shoon, we have to re-emphasize it.
Yeah.
And then taking a look at some other cards, because Shoon is consistently losing health with Bloodthirst, you can consistently try to trigger Agility Break. So Agility Break is another one of the break cycle. Whenever you lose health, put a counter on it for each health lost. So again, your Bloodthirst triggers that. And then at the beginning of your turn, if it has 5 or more counters, you may remove all counters, and then if you do, you may move or rotate. So because Shoon really wants to get into the thick of things, chase people down, and hit them, because you want to be hitting your drain attack to prevent Bloodthirst, this is going to help you get that double move in to get your drain attacks more consistently.
Yeah, so there's an interesting kind of like cycle or cadence there where you let yourself take a couple hits off your Bloodthirst, or maybe just like 1 attack off an opponent, and then you've got the 4th counter, so then you can literally just decide, okay, I'm not going to try and go for a heal this turn, so I tick up to 5. And then on the next turn, and honestly every turn after that, right? Because the trigger goes on the stack every turn, but you don't need to use it every turn, right? You decide as the trigger resolves if you're going to use that ability. So you can just kind of have it and then use it at a critical moment to guarantee a drain attack, and then start a cycle again. Take the Bloodthirst, move more to the fire attack, and just kind of back and forth, proccing Agility Break specifically when you want to, and then switching to drain attacks.
And of course, you don't necessarily need to just use this for drain attack. You could use it to just kill your opponent outright. That's always nice.
Yeah, also true, because 3 damage at swift speed is nothing to shake at. A small mention that we'll just throw it up on screen. We can't talk about Chaos Movement without talking about Oten, which has been a staple for so long.
Yeah, and because of your 2 energy reduction, it's a pretty reasonable.
Yeah, and then 3 chi, right? It improves the rest of your deck while giving you a reasonable movement option. But enough about movement. We're Shoon, we're playing fast, we want to kill things. So how are we going to kill things, Eric?
Yeah, how we're going to kill things? Well, there's this old card called Shadow Claw that is now just completely useless.
Aww.
Let's throw that away and look at a brand new card, Called Shot.
Oh, so I just put it on screen. I have to get... Okay, fine. Okay, it's gone. There we go. Okay, new card. Called Shot? Okay, here's Called Shot.
Yeah, wow. Same amount of damage, same amount of cost, better awareness, less chi, in Joara, not even feel you do anything.
Just 2 cards off the top.
Yeah, exactly. 2 cards off the top. How are you shooting somebody with a sword? I guess we'll never know, but...
you can throw swords. Come on, Eric. You've never thrown a sword before?
Then why doesn't it do fire damage?
Well, the sword's not on fire. You're not making any sense.
My sword is definitely on fire. Have you not read the lore?
I guess I haven't. I've outed myself. That's okay. I can cut this out.
Yeah, I know. But we can also try to compare this Called Shot to a Timeless card. Same chi, same amount of damage and spinning back fist. It's got a slightly different awareness in just the front awareness, does 3 damage at the 5 energy, so 1 more energy. It does have the 3 fatigue, so we'll have to see if you want to spend that 1 more energy for that different awareness and the fatigue, or if you just want the called shot. But these are 2 cards that deal some decent damage and are pretty easy to slot in your deck.
Spinning back fist is interesting. I do wonder if you're leaning into the drain attack and doing more action speed stuff, that maybe like, so just having 1 rotation and movement, then maybe spinning back fist lets you get a drain attack plus then hit something off to the side that usually you would need to double move to do, because those diagonal awarenesses are actually pretty sweet.
And we have mentioned before that we think Shoon's going to be kind of this burst fighter, but if gaining life is easier than we think, or if there's like a massive amount of life gain, especially in future sets, we could see a fatigue style Shoon where he can just like last a really long time, gaining a ton of life, and then you can fatigue your opponent out.
No, absolutely. That's actually a great point, because fighters having to deal with summons, right? And they get in the way and they bog things down. And the reason with that is because the summons force you as a fighter to spend cards getting them out of the way that you wanted to use on the enemy champion. You know what lets you tank a little bit more is having that drain attack too. And it's worth noting that for a drain attack, while it might feel that if you hit a summon with 1 health with a drain attack 2, well, it can't lose 2 health, right? It's only got 1 health. So therefore, do I only gain 1 health? While it may feel like thematically that they're linked, those are actually just kind of 2 statements that happen to appear next to each other. So it's target chamber summon your awareness, loses 2 health, and you gain 2 health. It's not you gain the health that was lost this way. Mm-hmm. It's you gain 2 health. Yep. So even if you hit a Vaidyuta, you can hit a Vaidyuta and gain 2 health.
Yep. And also note that against an Iblis, she will still lose 2 health and you'll still gain 2 health because you're not dealing damage.
Yes.
You're just making her lose the health.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say Iblis's health is going to be scary for Shoon in general, because that's a lot of damage we have to find. Yeah, how does that math work out? If Iblis is hitting us for 3 with a heavy electric attack, and then we're draining... Iblis is down 2 health and we're down 1 health. Yeah. Fortunately, we're allowed to play cards.
I think you actually win that exchange.
Yeah, Shoon and Iblis unable to play cards, just doing their attacks on each other. I do think Shoon wins that exchange eventually, but it's going to be scary for a bit. One last shout out while we're talking about this kind of combat-y, movement, punchy section is we'll talk about Snare. Great card, another way to trap people. Maybe it's unnecessary because of our awareness, but I mean the card is probably too reasonably good to not just have a couple copies in your deck to use at critical moments, whether it's to prevent a summon from getting in the way so you can just run in and get that last fire attack 3 or any sort of play like that. But yeah, we've spent a lot of time on our energy and the amazing awareness and those first 2 abilities. Let's spend some time.
Let's look at some self-care options for Shoon.
Yes, Shoon will get some time for some self-care.
Shoon's a hungry boy. It looks like he's going to need a bowl of hearty soup.
I mean, that looks delicious. But what goes into a hearty soup, Eric?
Well, what goes into a hearty soup is apparently enough food to heal you 1 health and then reduce your next energy costing ability by 1. All right, so there we go. We just solved our bloodthirst, and it didn't even cost us blood.
Yeah, there's no playing cost there.
Yeah, so this is just a solid 3 chi that can help you with your bloodthirst. So apparently vampires like the soup, which is, fair.
They may put different things in it, but who doesn't love a good soup on a cold? I mean, I'm guessing Shoon is in autumn, right? That's why there's all the red on his, the first art we shown had all the red. Yes. It's probably autumn.
You're an innocent person that is just red leaves. He's not burning down, people and orphanages and stuff like that.
It's autumn. Leaves, yes. It's a lovely autumn scene.
Exactly. Lovely autumn day, yeah.
For the next cards that gain life that we'll look at, I guess we'll put up 2 on screen. One is a reprint, and the other one is another 3 chi. So we'll start with the reprint, which is Vampiric Kiss. So this one is a 6 chi, forward awareness, 6 energy, action speed, drain attack 3. Worth noting because of Shoon's low health, but I'm not the biggest fan of Empiricus. I feel like the action speed, I feel like the rate of cards has got a little bit better than this at action speed.
I agree. I think this is a trap card. Action speed trap cards is even worse. Like if we remember, we just took a look at some 5Gs that dealt 3 damage at swift speed. And this is a 6G that deals 3 damage at action speed. So we might think like, oh, drain attack, we want to gain life with Shoon. But in practice, I don't think this is going to actually be that good. Possibly a forethought card if we think they're going to be longer games. But for the most part, we want to just kill our opponents fast. And Vampire Kiss is just going to be dodged, right?
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, you don't need to worry about that Bloodthirst trigger if you've already ended the game, right? Like, if the game's already over, then the fact that you're losing a health every round doesn't really matter. Yeah. Bite, on the other hand, while it does far, far less damage and half the energy cost because of Shoon's energy reduction, the 3-chi of this makes it a little bit more exciting for me. We've talked about all that great movement we'll be using. So 3-chi, forward awareness again, action, green attack. 3-chis, because they're improving the rest of a deck, they don't have to demand as much. I feel like between Hearty Soup and Bite, there's, I think, some solid life gain options if you want to have the safety floor in your deck of having some life gain there.
Yeah, I agree. Plus, Shoon is in the art.
Plus, Shoon is in the art. Biting Kasha. Isn't Kasha another vampire?
Yeah.
Is it? I didn't know vampires biting vampires was a thing, but I guess it is.
Yeah, you're right. That is not a thing in other lore. You know what? Haunted Castle Gaming has their own vampires, so, you know,
Ooh,
they can do whatever they want.
that's true.
I think this also confirms that kissing is more damaging than biting. Confirmed.
In Jalara, in the Plate of Jalara. Oh no! Also, kissing is a melee weapon, and biting is a grapple. So I guess that makes sense. If you bite someone, you can like latch onto a bone, and then this is getting really dark. So let's move on to the next card. Again, we don't feel that having cards to mitigate the life gain is worth it as a game plan, but we'll mention Dancing Stream, which is new in the Origin set in Jalara colors, 6 aura, so not unreasonable for a 90 aura champion, and you just gain 2 life at surf speed. And then Cleansing Waters, which is the Thymos one. This is more of a forethought card, 6 chi, and it's for 9 aura, so a 10th of your aura pool. You gain 3 health, lose all ailments, and destroy all curses attached to you. So definitely a meta call, right? If there's lots of decay triggers because of a big friendly millipede or curses going around, then Cleansing Waters pops in, and being in Thymos, Shoon should be aware of it. But, you know, I feel like we spent too much time thinking about having to gain health. Let's refocus back on dealing damage. And, Eric, what if I told you there was a way that we can convert Shoon's Fire Attack 3 into a Fire Attack 4?
33% more damage? I'm in. Lava Rider. So this is another one of the brand cycle that we mention these a lot in our videos because, you know, they're pretty good. So this one is a 5 health 6 chi with the forward awareness. 16 aura, so nothing too crazy, and it has the range Fire Attack 3 and then the Fire brand, so it can give fire weakness to something that doesn't have it for this round. As Shehanigans just mentioned, Shoon does have that Fire Attack, so hitting something with Lava Rider into Shoon, it gives you an extra bit of damage.
Yeah, don't think we need to go too crazy with summons in the Shoon deck, but I mean that doesn't mean that we just ignore the ones which are solid. And the brand cycles, all of them look sweet, but I love the ones that are 6 chi more than the others, and Lava Rider hits that checkbox perfectly.
Well, they're all 6 chi except for Fire and Krog.
Yeah.
So you're saying you don't like Fire and Krog?
I mean, Fire and Krog does a good thing, but he asks a lot of me, and I'm not sure if I'm willing to commit that much.
All right, anyway, so then if we can also look at, another summon that also deals fire damage, an Emergent Worm. So this one, we've talked about it, a lot. We really like this card, and it is kind of nice with Shoon because it has that almost Blitz-like trigger and that it can immediately deal damage when it comes into play. And it is a pretty low in aura, so it's something Shoon can play several copies of.
Yeah.
And just kind of help them, end that game. Yeah,
there's also a little bit of a synergy with the Drain Attack because, like, Drain Attack something, and then Emergent Worm is able to hit something that you wouldn't need to move twice for, so you get a Drain Attack and then have a 3/3 body, which is, like, what's not to like about that?
And then, of course, we have all these cards that can deal single target damage, but sometimes we just need to just kill all the opponent's summons so that we can actually get to our prize. So we have a card, Wave of Death. So this one just kills all summons in its awareness, adjacent to Shoon, and allow you to just focus on what matters most, which is, of course, killing your opponent.
This is almost an AoE. This awareness is what I like to call the fighter's AoE. We've seen it on Geomantic Explosions before. This is asking 1 health. We know that's asking a chunk of Shoon. We're already losing a health every turn. But 17 aura to be able to run in as a fighter, and then you put even a drain attack on the stack, and then they're like, aha, my summons will just attack you in response. And then you're just Wave of Death at swift speed, clearing out hopefully at least 2 summons with that. That's a pretty good exchange where you would have taken like the hit off the summon anyway.
Yeah.
Like that's reasonable.
And of course, you did mention Geometric Explosions. That could, very possibly be something you play. It's
more than a third of your aura is a big ask, but who knows?
But if you don't want to run summons, it can be something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, like Geometric Explosions has the advantage of killing your opponent too, whereas Wave of Death is like, oh, you don't have summons.
That being said, don't think Geometric Explosions should be in your deck. Just something to think about.
Yeah, cool. That was our Shoon primer.
Yeah.
So hopefully you enjoyed a look at one of the more focused champions. Shoon knows what he wants to do, and he does it very, very well. If you've got any cards that you think we missed out on, or if you've got like other cool deck ideas to play with Shoon, please send us a comment below. And then, of course, they'll always like, follow, and subscribe. That I think we're obligated as YouTubers to say that. You have to say that.
Yeah.
But hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Wait, no, there is no next one. We're done. Oh,
crap. Okay, I guess that's the end of the channel. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for coming out. That's it. There's no more content. We're done. We're finished.
Yeah, until there's gameplay videos. Dun dun dun.
Wait, we're allowed to play the game as well? Hold up. No one told me we were allowed to play the game as well. This changes everything.
I've already forgotten how to play this game.
You just spent too much time talking about playing. Don't know how to actually play anymore.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, we'll see you guys later.
Peace.